What do I got to do?
Just hit share.
No, but I can't. It says share to a group, copy link, or what?
Right post.
Huh?
Hit right post.
Right post?
Yep. Now say, watch us. Real Estate 101.
Oh, that's what does it?
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't I?
Yeah, man. Weatherman trying to teach you how to share the stream. All right, hey. We're a little bit early today. Production is in gear. I'm grateful for production. Cousin Charlie, you're doing a great job. Fallon Greenway, thank you for sharing the stream. Thank you very much, buddy. Where is Fallon? Is she on a cruise?
She's back now.
She's back. She's back.
I think she went to Bahamas and New York or something.
Fallon, we miss you, girl. You need to get on back. You know, because here's what I believe happens for you people in real estate, Weatherman. You said it right. You take a week off, it's really like losing 3 weeks.
Yep.
It takes you about a week just to stop the free-for-all. Then it takes a little bit of time to get adjusted. Then it takes a week to catch back up. Hey, we got some folks on here. Is Brittany Renee on here?
But you guys look good.
Thank you, thank you. It's the sweater. It's the sweater vest.
Squetta, as our friend used to call them.
Sweater.
Squetta.
All right, everybody. It's almost 1 o'clock. Let me see what you said, Fallon. You so silly, but I'm really ready for my appointments. All right, girl. Teresa, how are you doing? Brad Elam. Hey, buddy.
Brad.
Thank you for getting on here, Brad. We appreciate the likes. We appreciate the love. I even like those little angry faces. Even when people put a little angry face up there, I like it. Give me something. Give me every face. I like the funny face. I see you, Cousin Charlie. I like the wide open.
I don't even know how to do the angry face.
You got to hold down. I appreciate anything you can give me. I appreciate comments. You know what I like the most, Kathleen? I like Shawan the most. But do you know what I like the most other than Shawan? I like it when people are kind enough. You're really helping me and the Weatherman, Cousin Charlie, Shawan, and Kathleen out. If you share our stream, it ain't that hard to do. But when you help people out, it's going to come back to you. Weatherman, you're one of the greatest I know. And always going above and beyond to help other people out. And whenever I see you helping other people out, Weatherman, I know a lot of people want to help you back out.
Sure.
Do you agree with that?
How do you think they could do that?
Well, the way they could help us is just by sharing this stream. I see you on here, Derek Godwin. I wonder if the real David McWilliams is on here.
I think he's trying to win that.
Did you see Ryan Denny? You see Ryan Denny's post?
Is that one of the... I don't know, but hey, I saw where you and Brent and somebody else was wearing this. Brittany Renee's like, hey, I don't know if I want to get you one of them. Brittany Renee did give me this for Christmas, and Brent Long did verify it is okay to wear this 4 days in a row. So, can I wear this 4 days in a row? Can I
Who got it? Who got it for you?
Brittany Renee.
I like it.
You know, she'll see me.
Hey, hold on. Hey, my buddy Derek God was on there. How you doing, Derek?
I've already said hi to him. But you know, I don't mind saying this. I will wash my gym clothes. I have to wash my gym clothes. But I might not wash my blue jeans or my shirts for 6 months. I ain't kidding when I say that. Like
that's the absolute truth.
That is the truth. The other night we were going out. We were going to a party. And she's like, baby, what are you going to wear? And I just went in there and dug some out dirty.
Yeah. Well,
ankled up. Just said, all right, let's go. And she just couldn't even say nothing. She was just... But, hey, it's 1 o'clock. I see you on here, Tina Capadia. Hey.
Hello, Tina.
Merry Christmas, cousin Misty
That's a
Sexton.
Walker Hill connection.
That is. All right, everybody, it's Wednesday. It's 1 o'clock. That means it's Real Estate 101 Weatherman. Let's do your part.
Let's do my part. Well, hey, we definitely want to thank everybody for a fantastic year. And thank you. We can't tell you how much we appreciate your sponsorship. Roy Fraser, our good buddy and friend at Farm Bureau. We definitely can't do it without you. Scott Abernathy, all the people on the way, the big guy, John Jones, Belinda Arender, Southern Exteriors, the Big Kahuna. There's so many to thank. We may, little birdie may have one spot available next year. Get with a GTT to let you know.
Hey, we want to bring on Derek Godwin. He could be our preferred home builder.
There we go.
Hey, specialty.
But really, thank you to everybody for contributing. We really, really, really appreciate you. And I hope you know we tell everybody about you.
All righty. Let's get started. If you read the post, I believe you have 30 to 45 more days to buy a home at a discount. I'm going to articulate exactly what I mean by that, Cousin Charlie. But before we get started, Cousin Charlie, is there anything you'd like to ask me? Have you got your questions ready? Do you want me to put you right here in this camera?
I'm ready.
Okay, so let's just start. We're going to make a collaboration. When do you think is the best time? When do you believe most people buy a home?
Most people buy?
Yep.
Big springtime and summer.
Okay, the most homes will close between June and July.
Right.
Now, that does not mean, I think a lot of people writing contracts starting in February, March. What's so funny over there, kids? What are y'all laughing at? Oh, is the filter on me? What? So most of the home sales will be in June and July. What do you think, Mr. Smarty Pants, Cousin Charlie? What do you think that does to the prices in June and July?
It's gonna make them go up.
Okay, so I've got some stats here. I don't love to do stats because I believe you can force anything to come out the way you want it. You can always find a way to justify your stats. So, okay, prices peak in the summer, they dip in the fall, they're the lowest in the winter. That makes perfect sense. We all agree. So if you go back and you look over the past, Cousin Charlie, where are you going?
You gotta leave. I'll be right back. Go ahead. He said he gotta leave. Why's he gotta leave?
He's disrespectful.
Golly, let's fire him.
It's the only thing I can come up with. He's extremely disrespectful.
Rude.
So we know that in the summer, June and July, that's when the most homes are probably going to close. Some years it may not be like that, but if you're looking at a big window of, let's say, 5-10 years, stats show us that the most homes will close in June or July. Right. My best months for the last 2 years has been December. Okay, Brad, that's probably a variety of reasons.
I can tell you why.
But I'm looking at the overall market when the most amount of homes close. That's that's June and July.
How many hours do we have in a week? Does anybody know?
We have 2,080 in a month.
24 times 7 is 140 and 28.
144.
So 168. Brad works about 172 hours a week.
That's good for you, Brad. So his best 2 months have been December. The last couple. Hey, we got Blair Braswell. Hey, one of the best storytellers we got over here at John Jones Real Estate. So, Blair, when do you believe most houses are closed? What month?
Ding, ding, ding.
It's good. Okay. June, July. June could be some May, but we're really seeing a trend where June and July is the best. So that's when the most people are buying. Now, why do you think it takes them until May, June, July to start closing on their homes?
Schools.
School years. Okay.
A lot of times people don't want to list their house until it's springtime to where it's pretty outside. And so there's more inventory in the spring, it seems like.
Well, as a matter of fact, number 2, prices peak in June, July. There's also more inventory in those months.
Yep.
There's a lot more competition out there for buyers and sellers.
Yep.
So they're waiting on the school year. Is there any other reason? Convenience?
Summertime's a lot easier to move in the summer than it is. Not even if your kid's not moving schools, it's easier to move if your kids aren't in schools.
So why does it take people so long to make that decision to get motivated when I've got stats that clearly say the best time to buy a home is in January? That you're gonna probably save up to 8.5% versus the previous June or July.
But there's a two-edged sword there because a lot of people have to sell to buy, and they think in order to sell and get top dollar, we need to wait till the spring. How many times do you hear it when people say, well, I'm going to list my house in the spring? I've heard it 1,000,000 times in real estate, right?
They do it, but I think right now if you're someone that does not have a house to sell if you have put yourself in a position to where you can just go out there and buy a house.
Oh, wow.
You right now, you're going to save, and this doesn't sound like a lot of money, but damn, I saw a lot of people.
I bet 5 to 8% right now.
A lot of people would go out and save 10% on Friday, or the Friday before Christmas. They'll save 10%. 10%. I mean, they might save $50, and they'll flood the stores to do that. But why, when it comes to housing, like Weatherman's saying, you're going to save 5-6% right now. And let me tell you why. I want to tell you why you can save more money right now. Hey, Scott Abernathy, thank you for getting on here, kid. Think about this. If you've had your house listed, if you put it on the market in October, November, usually whenever you put your home on the market, it's when you've got the most certainty it's going to sell. My house is going to sell. My house is great. My house is this. My house is that. And you feel like at that time, we're underpriced. Weatherman has come out here and got us to price our home too cheap. We're too cheap. So that at that particular moment, you really feel like, I know this house is going to sell. Well, what kind of works against a seller? What drops their certainty? Days on the market.
Yes.
Days on the market. Then after 30 days of your home being on the market, you got to look at the old agent. Hey, I know I hadn't talked to you in 30 days, but it's time. We need to drop your price. How do you feel about that? Okay. It's easier.
It's better to send a text.
Yeah, or get Lisa to do it. Lisa, we can call them and say we need to drop this house by $10,000. So if it's a $300,000 house, if you drop $10,000, that's already 3% right there. So let's say November we have to do the old $10,000 reduction. We've reduced it 3%. Now we're in December. It's real slow. Nobody's really coming out there to look at the house. Then January comes along. You've got somebody out there looking. They make an offer. Let's say we went from $300,000, $299. We went down to for $289. Okay, that's 3%. Then they make us an offer of $289. I need $7,000 in closing cost. So we went 10, then we went 7. So we're $17,000 off of a list price that probably would have sold in the summer.
Sure.
So what is 17% off of 300,000, cousin Charlie?
17.
That is almost 6%, $18,000. So right now, guys, I'm going to tell you, if you're looking to buy a home, I believe you've got about 30 to 45 days, because the people that have had their home listed, they're starting to, their certainty has dropped. Maybe we are a little overpriced. The longer the market sees your home on the market, the less certainty, the less confidence that the buyer will have offering you full price. Right, cousin Charlie? How was that lead?
It was okay.
Was it worth taking the phone call?
Was it worth getting up and leaving the show for?
It was not. I missed probably so much valuable information.
You probably did, and you'll never get it back unless you go back and rewatch it. So, cousin Charlie, you represent a few buyers. How do you position it if something's been on the market 5 days and they want to make an offer?
5 days, there's still more. They're going to have to pay what they're asking.
That's right.
Oh, he's good.
He's smart.
He is good.
Were you listening to us back there in your office?
Hey, ask Blair a question.
Blair, if you've got a customer now, it's been on the market 37 days. How would you if they of course, buyers have a fear of overpaying. A seller has a fear of giving. I don't want to leave it. I don't want to give my house away. So how would you advise your client if they were buying a house that's been on the market 37 days without a price reduction? And it's December. It's December 27th.
I'm advising my buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first thing we got to do is look at some comps, make sure it's
Ooh. Me and Weatherman don't do that.
He's better.
He's better than you, Charlie.
Wow.
That's because
Wow.
I protect my client's fiduciary if I do God or whatever the hell that word is.
A fancy word that means you can go to prison.
Yeah.
So let's just think that, okay, they're in line with where they should sell because they're looking back at August. You know, in August or July and August, those prices are inflated. There's a lot more buyers out there. There's a lot more proof that prices were higher. Now there's not as many people looking. Buyers can take advantage of sellers a little bit more right now. So now, knowing they're priced in line with where they should be, what would you say to them?
So, well, look, the appraisal's gonna keep us from overpaying for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming in light.
I like you coming in with it, man.
10 grand. Why not? It's on the market 37 days. It's cold. Nobody's looking. I mean, that's the momentum you have going into an offer.
Yep.
You know, now if something's been sitting there, and then it's not sold, the seller already has in their thought process it's overpriced. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna assure them of that with my buyer's offer, and we're gonna come in a little bit underpriced. Now, if that same house been on the market in the springtime, it may have had 15 people the first day, and we may be paying over asking price. But I'm at least getting closing costs paid, or I'm coming in. I'd rather have closing costs paid than come in light any day of the week.
Yeah.
So, just for the
Explain
fact
to, like, you got to remember now the average buyer.
Okay,
consumer,
so-
they may not understand.
So closing cost is about 3%, just roughly about 3% of what your purchase price is, not counting your down payment, which goes for your taxes, your insurance, and any kind of attorney fees along the way, title insurance policy. Most times that's the only thing a seller can provide you with that is not against the law anymore. Some lenders can pay that for you, but you take a bump in the rate. So if you can get the seller to pay that, which in hindsight means they reduce the price because it comes off their net, then it saves your interest rate is lower, your payment's lower, and it saves you money in the long run. How's that?
That's a great explanation with it, man.
So I'm the betterest.
Right now, you're the goodest in the room. So Fallon said supply and demand. Well, supply and demand always, I guess, I see what you're saying, but I'm also going to bring another component into that, Fallon: supply, demand, and confidence.
Ooh.
Because confidence really matters. If let's say that big house out there on Central Valley Road.
Yeah.
If I just finished it and there was not a buyer and somebody, let's say if it was 97% finished, okay, and somebody came in there and they offered me something that was $15,000 or $20,000 off, my confidence would still be high enough. Like, hey, I'm not even going. Well, man, we ain't even going to counter that.
We're not even. We're just gonna reject it.
We're just going to reject that offer. Now that same house, it's been sitting, it's been completed, it's been finished for 68 days. I might be like, weatherman. We need to call those people back. Yeah, that's so okay. Let's call them back, see if they'll make that same offer. So it is supply and demand, but it's also the consumer confidence is crucial. In a market, there's a buyer, their confidence, seller, their confidence. If a house is just listed, let's say like you had 4 or 5 days, at that particular time, the seller probably has high confidence still at that point. But the buyer also feels like at that point, I've got to pay them. I may even have to pay more than what it's listed at. Now, as days on the market tick, let's say we're at 61 days. Now the seller, they're like, hey, we need to either reduce this or won't they just make us an offer? Well, the buyers have less confidence about buying something that's been on the market
That long,
for 61 days.
Because they think why isn't anybody buying it? There's issues with it. You know, I don't even want to make an offer because obviously somebody's not even made an offer. So my offer would be $30,000 less, and I don't want to insult them.
Yeah, that because of why? What are the buyers, cousin Charlie? What are you awake?
Yeah.
Those carbs catching up with you, cousin Charlie? Why do you think the buyers think like that?
I'm sorry, I was reading the text message. I'm like,
Who was the text message?
So
from?
what it is so if a house has been on the market 67 days,
Let's replay it because
you
it's
already
not paying attention.
So if a house been on the market 67 days, let's just do a $250 price point. If it's been on the market 67 days and a buyer goes to buy it, chances are they're thinking, well, somebody's already tried to get them down lower and they wouldn't take it. So there's either something wrong with it or something going on. So the only way I would buy it would have to be a steal, which means $30,000 off the price.
Now, cousin Charlie, second time around, why do you think the buyers feel like that?
well, there's a stigma. There's something the matter with it.
Why else? What's the key word I'm looking for?
Confidence.
Close. Uncertain.
Oh, they're uncertain.
They're uncertain. and they can't really rationalize. They can't make sense of it. They just know they don't feel good about it. So the way they protect themselves is they become very unrealistic. They think they make an offer of $30,000, and that's what it takes for them to feel good enough to move forward. Now, here's the funny part. In July, June, that house would have already sold. So right now, buyers become more uncertain. And, I was talking to John the other day. And
John who?
John Jones.
Okay.
John C. Jones. And he was talking about some houses that he had seen. And he's like, damn, I can't believe this house is sitting still.
Yeah.
And then chance to probably make yourself 5%.
Absolutely.
And like Weatherman's saying, you may not see it all in the sales price. You might get 3% of your
closing costs,
closing
refrigerator.
cost. You might get some things thrown in there that total up 5%. Brother Woodall, good to see you on here. Thank you for joining.
Hey, Bill Jakes,
Bill
David
Jakes,
Evans, Scott Abernathy, David Stegg.
Jason Melton. Hey, Jason Melton's doing a deal with us. We appreciate his great work on that. So, if you want to know why am I saying mid-February this kind of changes, are you wanting to know that, Kathleen? Ask me then. Ask me a question. Cousin Charlie?
Why is it changing about mid-February?
Great question, Cousin Charlie. The belief, the confidence of the sellers start to change. They know, I'll sell this house in March. I'll sell it in April.
I'll get out there and I'll get that landscaping pretty. The yard will look nice.
They know better days are coming.
Yeah.
They know, hey, it's about to turn. I can see the signs. I can see, such and such sold their home. So what happens is the pendulum starts to swing back in their favor. They start to feel a little bit better. They start to think, you know what, it's going to be okay. If this person don't buy it, somebody's going to buy it. So see, right now there's still enough time out there to leave the sellers uncertain about selling it anytime soon. They could still be, because our fears always multiply the true reality. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like if I ever get on an airplane and I feel a bump, I'm like, damn, we're crashing. Somebody else might say I didn't even feel that, but my fears of flying, the moment I'm uncomfortable, it's a huge multiple going on in my mind.
Well, a lot of times too is we don't take in consideration it's 20 degrees outside. It's 24 degrees. Mm-hmm. People are not out looking unless they got to have somewhere to go, so they're not even really thinking about it. So you'll see traffic slow down in the cold months because people are just not interested. So once it starts warming up and people are out and about looking, then that interest spikes up. So guess what happens? They're thinking about buying or selling, but they're not really for sure. So they get out in these neighborhoods, they find a house, and boom, now they're ready. You don't do that as much in the winter times because it's not fun to go hop in a car at 18 degrees and ride around and look at new houses or older houses.
Where you going, Cousin Charlie?
It's okay, I'll take it.
Okay,
so I have a question.
Oh, the beautiful Shawan Weathers has a question.
Okay, so this would be more for an agent.
Okay.
But if you are the seller's agent and you've got this house that's stagnant for 67 days, it's been listed in the winter, how do you gain their confidence back from you as an agent, as the one representing them and their home, and it's been setting for that many days? Do you prepare them for the long haul when you put that house on the market? Do you tell them at that moment, look, we're about to list your house in December. I want to let you know this is a slower time of year. Or once it's January, do you take that home back off the market, revamp it, put it back on like it's brand new?
Damn, Weatherman, your turn.
Hey, next question, please. Next question.
No, that's...
Hey, we just lied to them. Just make them feel good.
Now, that was a tremendous question, and I will step up.
Look, Woodall, such a good question.
Well, I'm going to answer that because I had a situation that a friend of mine, they were wanting to sell their place out on 8 acres as a log cabin, and they were going back and forth about what you're asking. What if the weather, like you're saying, is bad? What if nobody's been out here? What if our house has been sitting 60 days? Well, honestly, you can't read the future. So,
sure.
But it does not matter what time of the year you're in. You still have to deal with the current market that you're in. Kathleen, are you sleepy? I see you over there falling asleep. So anytime, I believe the market buyers they're the smartest people out there because, like, for example, I'm constantly looking for a home in this little bitty stretch of Florida. And anytime something new comes up, I know it. I know the area. I know what it should be priced at. I know that it went up more than what it should. I know whenever I see good deals. So whenever you're talking to the seller, you still got to let them know, like, hey, you got to find out how bad do you want to sell this house. And I want them to make the decision. So these people, I'm like, would you rather wait now or would you rather wait till the spring? Now, the good thing about doing it right now is there's not as many homes out there.
That's exactly right. It's a two-edged sword.
You don't have as many homes to compete against. You give them the pros and the cons, and then they can make the decision. But back to your question, once it's been on the market that long, the buyers don't forget it. They're not sitting there really thinking, well, it's been slow. The buyers are always looking for leverage to defend what they're going to ask or what they're trying to get for the house.
And Brad's right. Most of the time they list it higher than you suggested. So with our market creeping up, every house we get as real estate agents, they always want to hit the next number. They hit the next number, hit the next number. So very rarely does, and really it's not our job to tell you what the price of your house. We're not even really allowed to do that. All we can show you is what the price of the comps are and then give you a suggested price. Now, if something sold for $199.9 in the neighborhood, I'd be the same way. I want $209.9. And so you don't have that favor in the winter months as you do in the spring months. So you do have to be very upfront. Let them know that when you price your house in this quarter, which is our fourth quarter, then you may have to do a price reduction quickly. Mm-hmm. That you wouldn't have to do that in the second quarter. But the good thing is you have people that are looking now are a lot more interested as well, and you don't have as much competition. So even though you feel like you have to reduce the price, you may be competing against 20 other houses, and you better hope yours is better than theirs for it to sell in the springtime.
Bill Shaw, I hope you're enjoying down there at Watersound if you're still down. Happy holidays to you as well. So, ma'am, did we answer your question, kinda?
Yes.
I do think as a seller, you always have to be aware of what the market is using against you. Days on the market, price reduction. If you've been on the market 30 days and you have not reduced your home, 45 days you have not reduced your home, I think the buyers out there anticipate you being more flexible. Then it depends on how good the agent is. What if an agent were to call and say, hey, man, you've been on the market 67 days. Yeah. If you can articulate, well, let me tell you, we have been on the market that long, but give bullet point reasons of why we feel like we're still justified. Sure. People like it. Now, here's what I saw. That house sat for a little while, and I started to get concerned about, man, maybe we should have waited. But then an offer came in, then somebody else wanted to make an offer.
And somebody else. And
so it's really... It's so much goes back to how confident people feel about the upcoming 30 days. Yeah. The next 30 to 60 days.
And we're in one of the wildest and craziest markets we've ever seen. So as bad as they say it, there's not a lot of rhyme or reason to what's going on. Like Brad said, he said some of his best months in December, where before you don't really have that. Well, guess what? There's still a lot of people buying in the fourth quarter of the year. So we're just in a very good market, which is good for Rutherford County. It's good for our growth. So definitely don't hesitate to list your house. Don't think about waiting. If you're serious about it, now is just as good a time as any. Just know that instead of having 10 people show it, you may have 2, but those 2 are pretty strong buyers.
Yeah, you brought up a good point, Weatherman. Right now, the people that are looking, they're more serious. But I also think people that are selling right now are probably more serious to sell their house. And if you're serious about selling your house, you're probably more open to making something happen as opposed to digging in your heels saying, I ain't giving my house away. Right. Cousin Charlie, you've been absent. Is there any question you'd like to ask?
It better be good.
Yeah. I know. I heard that last one.
That was a great question. Can you match that question?
She took my thunder. I don't have any.
Were you going to ask the same question, Cousin Charlie?
He had it written down. Were you going to
ask the same?
Look.
What options Teresa is on here?
That's true. It's very true.
That's exactly right, Teresa. The agent needs to kind of give you the foresight. Hey, if we don't sell this in 30 days, I'm actually telling people in 20. Right now, if your home is under $200,000 and it doesn't sell in 7 days, you probably need to go ahead and adjust your price. Would you agree with that?
I would. And at this time of the year, especially now, chances are with the demand. Now, if it's new construction and it's over a certain price point, that goes out the window. But if it's anywhere under 300, under 250, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you don't have people falling all over it, then you're out of the ballpark.
Hey, we've been going about 30 minutes already. Did you know that, Kathleen?
You are the greatest.
We are the greatest. Did you ever know that? And this is our last show of the year, 2017. Man, it's been a great.
We're going to be up for an Emmy.
Well, next year we're going to mail. Hey, Weatherman, I like your little towel up there. Your jacket.
I got that. My wife got that for Christmas.
Hey, I like that. Kathleen's got the GTT mug up here. So, hey, I'm going to end by telling you, if you're considering buying a home, you need to call us because we can help give you some certainty about right now is the time to buy a house. There's the sellers. There's probably 30 to 45 more days before sellers start to feel confident about the market. They know we're going into winter. They know it's going to slow down.
Yep.
Right now, there's a good chance if they've got their home on the market, they really need to sell it.
Sure. And if you're working with the agents, we're not here to take any business. We've always said that. So definitely, if you're locked in with somebody, definitely you're serious. Call your local realtor that you've been working with, because now is just as great a time as any to sell your property, especially if you price it in the price point, because things are still selling at a high pace. Would you agree with that?
They still are, but I'm telling you, hey, BradElam.com, get that shit off there, Brad Elam. Nobody wants to see your stuff. I'm just kidding. If there is an agent we recommend, Brad Elam is a very, very good agent. He's a very loyal watcher to Real Estate 101. So, Brad, I'm just kidding. I appreciate the value you bring to us. But I will say, I'm going to close it up by saying 30 to 45 more days, and then the sellers will have more confidence about their outlook over the next 30 days. Am I being clear what I'm saying, Kathleen? So much is based on how I feel.
So you feel like we're in a buyer's, for the first time in the year, the buyers have a slight edge for the next 30
Well,
45
here's the
days.
stats. Prices fall 0.5% in fall. That means 0.5%, Cousin Charlie. Okay? But they're actually almost 3% cheaper in the fall than it was at the peak of June or July. Okay? In January, this is big. This is very telling right here, guys. In January, that number is 8.5% cheaper than it will be in the summer months. 8.5% cheaper. Now, you can't, like Weatherman said, you may not always see that in the price.
Right, but you'll see it somewhere.
Yeah, it could be in concessions. It could be in closing costs. It could be in something that they throw in there. Roy Frazier, thank you for getting on here. We really, really, really appreciate everything you do for us, Roy Frazier. And if anybody out there needs their insurance coming up this time of year, Roy Frazier with Farm Bureau is who you need to call. Brother Woodall, we have to guard against allowing a good market to make us sloppy at our craft. Good work, but I can't talk. I need
Good
some
work
water.
ethics and
I need
skill
some water,
trump
Cousin
good
Charlie.
luck 99% of the time. Very, very
I'm just
true.
kidding, Cousin Charlie. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's just a joke. Neighbor in my home list January. Neighbor is listing home on January 8th. What does that mean? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, Teresa. Hey, maybe we could go there and buy it. Maybe we can go there and buy it before the market. I don't know if do they have a coming soon sign out there? A lot of times I think what it means, Teresa, is agents would like to market the home for about a week. Is it Brad Elam? Is he trying to do that? Sometimes the seller needs to get some things completed, but usually they probably already signed listing paperwork. They just need a little time to declutter. They need to get rid of some bad things. No sign.
Well, last week and this week also there's a lot of agents that check out. I'm not saying everybody does, but because we got New Year's Eve, we've got Christmas, there's a lot going on, and so you only have a few days of the week that you can actually get anything accomplished. So if you're listing a house, a lot of people think, well, I don't want to lose ground for a week, so let's wait till January 8th get past the first of the year. I'd rather wait than my house be on the market 15 days. And so that may be the reason why as well.
See, that's what. That's why Brad saying new paint, new carpet. Everybody, if you're still on here, share the stream. Only share it one time. You won't get credit, but for one time only, if you share the stream, you get to go to my favorite place if you're chosen, the Alley on Main. God, so good.
Ooh, man.
I'm sitting there thinking, why didn't I go eat chicken parmesan and that spaghetti, that little cream sauce or whatever they put in there, that garlic bread? So share my stream. You get a $25 gift card if you're chosen. That's all you got to do is hit share. I showed the weatherman how to do it. I can show you how to do it. Everybody, have a great, happy New Year. Weatherman, is there anything you'd like to add?